You are an ordinary person. Not rich, not famous, nothing special except for the third-class ticket clutched in your hand aboard the largest ship in the world. You are about 25 years old, having left your rural village in Europe. Perhaps Ireland, perhaps Italy, or a small Scandinavian hamlet. With an old wooden trunk containing a few changes of clothes, the savings of a lifetime, and a hastily scribbled address on a scrap of paper. A distant relative's home in New York. Your English is poor. You only stammer a few phrases picked up from those who left before you. But you possess something no one can take away. Hope. It is April 10th, 1912, at the port of Southampton, England. The spring sky is unusually clear and blue. You stand in the pushing crowd, gazing up at the colossal ship towering before you. The RM's Titanic, with its 4 black funnels reaching toward the sky and its long, gleaming black hull stretching over 269 meters. People say this ship is unsinkable. You believe them. Why wouldn't you? It is the masterpiece of humanity, the symbol of a new era. The era of steel, steam engines, and absolute faith in technological progress. You are not a hero. You are not an important figure in history. You are simply one of more than 2,000 passengers and crew members boarding that day, carrying a simple dream, a new life in America. You have no idea that this first and final voyage of the Titanic will become one of the most remembered tragedies in human history. You are assigned to third-class quarters, deep below the decks, closer to the waterline than anyone else. Your cabin is small and simple, but surprisingly clean. Iron bunk beds, crisp white sheets, and, for the first time in your life, 3 meals a day without worry. To you, this is already luxury. The first days at sea pass peacefully. The Titanic cuts through the Atlantic with such steadiness that many forget they are in the middle of the ocean. You spend time chatting with other passengers in the common areas. A Swedish family of 6 migrating together, a young Irish woman whose name you've forgotten but whose smile you remember forever, and a few young men who play the accordion in the evenings, turning the third-class deck into a place of dancing and laughter despite the uncertainty of tomorrow. Occasionally, you wander up to the upper decks and peer through the glass into the world of first class. Glittering evening gowns, crystal chandeliers, the sound of string chamber music. A completely different world, separated from you by just a few staircases, but as distant as 2 different planets. You don't feel bitter. You only feel lucky to be here, on this magnificent ship, drawing closer each day to your American dream. The night of April 14th is unusually cold. The sea is eerily calm. Not a single ripple, the water as black and smooth as a mirror, reflecting thousands of stars. Some crew members remark how rare such a flat sea is, and ironically, it makes spotting icebergs harder because there are no waves breaking against them to create telltale white foam. You don't know this. You only know the night is beautiful, and you go to bed early, tired after a long day, your heart full of peace. The Titanic is traveling at nearly full speed, about 22 knots, through a region where other ships have already sent wireless warnings of dense ice. You wake with a start at a strange sound. Not the explosion or violent crash you would later hear people describe, but a long scraping noise, a slight shudder running along the hull, as if something enormous is being dragged along the bottom of the ship beneath you. Your bunk bed trembles faintly, a few glasses on the table slosh. Then, silence. The engines continue their steady rhythm. You lie still in the darkness, heart racing but mind still foggy with sleep. Maybe it's nothing serious. A few people in the cabin sit up, whispering to each other about what just happened. Someone jokes that the ship must have run over a whale. No one panics. You close your eyes again, intending to go back to sleep. But then you notice the engines have stopped. That sudden silence is stranger than any noise, because for 4 days, the steady vibration of the engines has been the heartbeat of the ship, and now it is gone. The Titanic is drifting silently in the ocean under the cold stars. You quickly throw on your coat and step into the corridor. A few crew members pass by with tense faces, but still reassure everyone that it's just a minor incident, nothing to worry about. You believe them. Why wouldn't you? This is the Unsinkable ship, but when you look down at the floor of the common area, you see it. A thin stream of water, ice cold and black, seeping through the doorways, creeping into the space where you had been sleeping soundly just minutes earlier. Screams begin to rise from the lower compartments. The water is rising faster than you imagined. You would later learn. Though no one clearly told the third-class passengers at the time that the iceberg had torn a long gash along the first 6 watertight compartments, more than the ship was designed to survive. The Unsinkable ship is dying from within, and the rate at which water is flooding in is unstoppable. You try to find your way up to the upper decks, but the narrow, winding corridors of third class feel like a maze. Some doors leading to first and second class areas are locked or blocked by crew, partly due to UDASET, immigration quarantine rules, partly due to the growing chaos. You push forward with dozens of others, holding tightly to the hand of a lost little boy whose parents have disappeared in the crowd, trying to lead him up the stairs with you. On the boat deck, the scene is more horrifying than you could have imagined. The Titanic is beginning to list forward. Crew members are struggling to lower the lifeboats. Only 20 of them, enough for less than half the people on board. Women and children first, the officers shout, their voices trying to stay calm but trembling from the cold and the dawning horror. The ship's band, led by Wallace Hartley, continues playing on deck, their melodies rising amid the screams and the screech of metal as the lifeboats are lowered. An extraordinary act of courage meant to soothe the passengers' panic. You see Captain Edward Smith pass by, his face ashen, eyes sunken with exhaustion and despair, trying to coordinate the rescue as the ship he commanded slowly sinks beneath him. You catch fragments of talk that the wireless operators are sending out Sea-Key D, SOS distress signals continuously, hoping some ship is close enough to arrive in time. The freezing water, cold as needles, begins to flood the lower decks. The sea temperature that night is around -2 degrees Celsius. Cold enough that a person falling into it could die within 15 to 30 minutes from shock, even before drowning. You push the lost boy into a lifeboat being lowered, watching his terrified eyes look back at you as the distance grows. There is no room left for you. The boat is full. People shout, "That's enough! Lower away!" You step back, standing among hundreds of others with no place in the lifeboats. A strange calm settles over your mind. Not peace, but a kind of acceptance. You think of the village where you were born, your mother's face as she saw you off at the dock, and the American dream that will now forever remain just a dream. You grasp the hand of the Irish woman standing beside you, the one whose smile you remember from the dancing nights in third class, and the two of you say nothing, simply standing there, watching the deck tilt steeper by the minute. The ship is now listing so severely that no one can stand upright. The bow has plunged underwater, and the stern, where you are clinging with hundreds of others, rises higher and higher, nearly vertical against the sea. Furniture, chairs, even grand pianos from the first-class lounge slide and crash downward, crushing those who cannot get out of the way. The sound of rending steel is horrifying. A groaning, tearing roar, as if the ship itself is screaming in its death throes. The Titanic is breaking in two. You cling desperately to the railing, your fingers numb from the cold and the death grip. Below you, the Black Sea stretches to the horizon, sparkling under the stars. The same beautiful sky that lulled you to sleep just hours earlier. You hear whispered prayers around you in many languages: English, Irish, Italian, Swedish, all blending into a chorus of fear and faith. The band keeps playing, even as the deck grows almost vertical. Perhaps that is the last clear sound you hear before everything breaks apart. Then the ship snaps in two with a deafening roar. The stern section, where you are standing, lifts straight up for a moment before plunging back down and beginning to sink vertically. You feel yourself hurled into the air, no longer in control of your body. The freezing water swallows you, a stabbing pain shooting through every fiber of your being like 1,000 knives at once. You try to scream, but water rushes into your mouth. All around you, hundreds of others are struggling in the dark, icy water, their cries for help echoing across the sea. A sound that survivors in the lifeboats would never forget, haunting them for the rest of their lives. You lose all feeling in your limbs. Your body gradually goes numb from the bone-chilling cold. In your final seconds, you look up at the star-filled sky. The same sky you gazed at with hope just hours before, and think of your mother, your village, and your unfinished dream. Then darkness and cold consume you. There is no more you. The Titanic sinks completely to the bottom of the Atlantic at 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912, just 2 hours and 40 minutes after striking the fateful iceberg. When dawn breaks the next morning, the RMZ Carpathia, the only ship to arrive in time, rescues 705 survivors from the drifting lifeboats amid wreckage and glittering ice. More than 1,500 people perished that night, most of them third-class passengers and crew members. Those with the least access to lifeboats, people like you. News of the tragedy spreads across the world within hours, shocking the globe. People could not believe that the ship hailed as Unsinkable now lay at the bottom of the ocean on its maiden voyage. Investigations in the United States and Britain later exposed a series of serious failures. Insufficient lifeboats despite meeting outdated regulations, excessive speed despite ice warnings, and implicit class discrimination during the evacuation. The Titanic disaster permanently changed the maritime world. The International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea Solas was born in 1914, mandating enough lifeboats for everyone on board, establishing international iceberg patrols in the North Atlantic, and requiring 24-hour radio watch on passenger ships. Regulations still in effect today. The wreck of the Titanic lay undisturbed on the ocean floor for 73 years until its discovery in 1985 at a depth of nearly 3,800 meters, about 600 kilometers off the coast of Newfoundland. It remains there today, slowly corroding by sea bacteria, a silent mass grave under the immense pressure of the ocean. The names of more than 1,500 victims, from famous millionaires to anonymous immigrants like you, are engraved on memorials in Southampton, Belfast, New York, and many other places around the world. Their stories, especially those of the third-class passengers who dreamed of a new life but never reached America's shores, continue to be told across generations. As a reminder of the fragility of human life against nature, the cruel class divides that persist even in disaster, and the quiet courage of ordinary people in their final moments. You are not a name remembered in history books. You are simply one of the thousands of anonymous souls who went down with the ship that night. A person carrying a simple dream of a new beginning, swept away by a disaster that no one, not even the finest engineers of the age, could foresee. But in those final moments, between the Black Sea and the cold, starry sky, you held a stranger's hand, pushed a child to safety instead of taking the spot for yourself, and faced death with all the dignity an ordinary human being could muster. The Titanic did not sink merely because of an iceberg. It sank carrying thousands of unfinished stories. And yours is one of them, forever resting in the heart of the Atlantic, remembered not by name, but by the quiet dignity of an ordinary life on a night no one can ever forget.